Alright, it's time to integrate the Google Maps API into our Next.js application. To get started, we need to install the React Google Maps API package. Let's begin by searching for npm React Google Maps on Google. So we are looking for this React Google Maps API 1. But before we install it, let's take a moment to explore the documentation. Reading the docs is always a good practice. Here's the link to the official documentation. Unfortunately, it seems the official documentation link isn't working for some reason. However, fear not. I found an alternative link that essentially mirrors the content of the official documentation. You can find it in the web archives. I will provide you with the link to this unofficial version of the documentation. So, when you combine this documentation with the vanilla JavaScript documentation, you'll discover that you have the power to accomplish virtually anything with the Google Maps API in both React and Next.js applications. Now, let's proceed with the installation of this package. Copy the provided command and paste it into your command prompt. Once that's done, return to the npm page to understand how to use this package effectively. Before we dive into the details, let's remind ourselves of the primary goal of this application. It's straightforward. Users will submit trip requests, and we'll connect them with the nearest available drivers. To achieve this, let's create a specific route called request that will display the map. To begin, create a new folder within the app directory and name it request. As usual, we'll also need to craft a new page inside that folder, and we'll name it page.js. Open the request page and initiate it with RFC. This is the place where we'll integrate the map. Now, let's proceed with making the necessary import. Fortunately, there's just one import to include, so go ahead and copy this line and paste it into your code. For a clearer understanding of what's happening, let's head back to the package page and take a closer look at the content. In fact, let's copy everything from there and paste it into our page.js file. We'll do this to ensure that we have the complete code before breaking it down. Good. Now let's go to the browser and visit localhost 3000/request. We are having an error. We can fix this just by turning this into a client component. So let's go ahead and put the use client here at the very top. Keep in mind that we'll refine this component in detail later on. Now, let's check for any issues. Oh, it seems like there's an error. Let's take a quick look at the console. It's the API key missing. Let me quickly copy the key and paste it here. Awesome! As you can see, the map is now up and running. We're making progress. Of course, what we're doing here is not considered best practice. We should store this API key in a local environment file. To achieve this, let's create a file named .env.local in the root folder of our application. In this file, define a variable named Next public Google Maps API key and set it equal to your Google Maps API key. You can simply cut the key and paste it in this variable. Great. Now in your code, you can access this key using process.env.next public Google Maps API key. Let's check the browser to ensure everything is working as expected. Amazing. The map is still here, and we've improved our security practices. Okay, now let's break this down and dive deeper into understanding the components in this example. First, we have defined the container style for the map and set the center of the map, both of which are stored in these constants. Let's make some changes here and observe the effects. How about we modify the width to 100% and increase the height to, let's say, 90 VH units. As you can see, these adjustments result in a larger map with more screen real estate. Good. Now, let's tackle the map's center. The center is typically represented by a pair of latitude and longitude coordinates. Currently, the map is centered somewhere in Brazil. However, our project is based in London, so we need to shift the focus there. To do that, we just need to find the precise coordinates that correspond to London. One way to obtain these coordinates is by using vanilla Google Maps. In your web browser, open Google Maps and search for the center of London. This will help us accurately pinpoint the coordinates. Obtaining the pair of latitude and longitude is quite straightforward. Simply right-click on the map, and there you have it. These two numbers represent the latitude and longitude of the location where you performed the right-click. Click on it, and it will be automatically copied to your clipboard. Now let's return to VS Code and make the necessary replacements. You can paste the coordinates we just obtained right at the top of your code. The first value, 51 something, will be the latitude, and the second one will be the longitude. Now let's head back to our map. As you can see, we've successfully centered the map on London. Let's consider adjusting the zoom level. The zoom level determines how closely the map is displayed. A larger number results in a more zoomed-in map. How about we try setting it to 12 or 13 for a more detailed view? Alright, with that covered, let's move on.